If you are a fitness instructor or you have home decor and furnishings or you have a clothing line that you're looking to release, we want to make you a household name.
This is Bill from Fry Guy. Make sure you tune in to the Mo and Bro Show, the best show in the city of Detroit, hanging with the best French fries in the city of Detroit.
Here we go.
There he is.
Big Charles, what's up, baby?
What's going on, man? How you been?
I'm doing good as well.
I know you're doing good as well, Mister. You the director now, man.
I know I done moved up in my life, huh?
I watched the whole thing.
Thank you, man.
I watched the whole thing, and I mean, I know, we gotta catch up and stuff like that. Cause I ain't seen you in so long, but
Right.
I gotta just talk about it, man. It just, you know what it made me think about? When I was 10 years old, I might have been 12. I was a paper boy, and I got into a little scuffle. My father wanted me to learn how to defend myself, and he took me to the Kronk's gym in Southwest Detroit. Way back in the day, I think Tommy Hearns was trained there and stuff like that. Way back in the day.
Emmanuel Stewart.
Exactly, and I met Emmanuel Stewart that he was on, and I met Emmanuel Stewart. I didn't really know who he was and how big he was then. I didn't understand that then, but when I saw that movie, Dan, I thought about that and things like that. I want you to talk to me about how did you get to what inspired you? I know that you came up, in that, starting to box, you're in shape now. So talk to me about that, man.
Well, first of all, man, it's good seeing you guys again. Congratulations,
good to see you,
Monique.
man.
Thank you.
And my sister, rude to her.
Oh yeah.
But it's funny. One, the documentary that I just produced, you would have actually thought that someone would have done one on the Kronk Gym first because of everybody that came out of there. My documentary is actually the first boxing team documentary ever done.
Man,
it's on record. You can Google, you can research it. When you look up boxing team documentary, mine is the first done, the way that it's done. Where you got a story about 10 to 12 guys from the same gym that all started at that gym, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come from other gyms and join us. Everybody that was at the Executioners literally started 0-0 with us, learning how to fight and coming through the ranks through the Executioners of that movie that you saw.
Man, awesome.
The idea came to my mind when I had a show back in Philadelphia back in 2017, and one of my old teammates came to my comedy show, and I asked him about the trainers, and I knew Marvin Tucci Gordon, the original owner, starter of it. He had passed in 1996, which I had found out. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if Frank, the other trainer, who was actually my first trainer, if he was alive. When they said, yeah, Frank is still alive. So I asked for the number, I asked around, got the number, and I didn't call right away. I had went back. Now, this is when I was in Philly. I came back to LA about middle of September, 1st of October. I decided to call him. About a month and a half later.
Yeah.
I called him, Charles, and I said, hey, this is Dannon Green. I said, Frank Taylor, this is Dannon Green. I used to box for you when I was a kid. Hadn't talked to the man over 30 years. Hadn't talked to the man over 30 years or more. And he said, Dannon Green. He said, Dannon Green, Southpaw, Felton Street. Yeah, good fighter. Yeah, I remember you. Mm-hmm. And man, it brought tears to my eyes. I was shocked that he remembered. I mean, we can remember if a fighter was good and we can remember what style he had. But when you remember where the guy lives, you know what I mean? That means he was vested something in me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked for about 30 minutes, Monique. We talked about 30 minutes and hung up. That was it. And then about the 1st of November, like about a month later, I'm laying in bed. I'm literally laying in bed and I go, somebody's got to tell this story.
Yes.
I said, because when this man passed, he was 79, 80 then. That was 2017.
Yeah.
I said, you know, God forbid if I pass before him, but if this man passed, God forbid, all of that history, that whole story, that whole everything that you saw in that movie goes to the grave with him. Because none of these guys are going to tell the story. None of these guys know about it. Because when I talked to him and I said, hey, Frank, I want to do this story. I called him up. I laid up. I was like, man, somebody's got to tell the story. So I got on the phone and I called him. And I said, hey, man, I want to do this story on the executioners, Frank. And he said to me, Charles, he said, I always felt there was a story there. I just didn't know how to get it out. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, let me tell this story. And I didn't even know what the story's going to be. Because I ain't talked to none of these guys in years.
Yeah.
None, and some of them I really even associated with that way. Because they were some of them were a little bit older than me. Mm-hmm. So he gave me his blessing. I had, you know, at the time I had did a number of commercials. So I had saved up some money. And I had some good money in the bank. And then I found a business partner. And I said, look, man, this is what I want to do. And he said, well, what are the numbers you need? I told him what I needed. He looked at them. And I don't know how and why he did, but he agreed. And he had cut some of the costs because he had the equipment. He had about 4 great cameras. So we shot it 1, 2, 3. It was a 3 camera to 4 camera shoot. In some angles that you saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. And then we shot some of it 1 single camera. And you can tell the 3 camera shoots from the cuts. And then you can tell the single camera shoots. And we had to fly them back and forth to Philly and Charlotte, North Carolina, and New York, and all that type of shit. So he agreed. And man, let me tell you, I never even knew what I was. This is my first film. This is the first time my first feature. I did a short before on my own, but I didn't study film in school. I studied computer animation.
At Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State. I'm a Buckeye.
I know. I see you're extremely educated and accomplished, and you did something.
Yeah.
And so you put a lot of work and sweat into it. How did it make the guys feel for you to come back to your own home city, your hometown, and to preserve history like you did, and the way you did, and to tell their story that they otherwise would have never been told? How did it make them feel?
I got to be honest with you. I never knew what was going to come of it. And let me tell you, some of these guys, you saw the documentary. These guys, these wasn't choir boys. You know what I mean? These ain't, these wasn't dudes that were like, oh, look at him. I didn't know he was in the choir. No, this wasn't that kind of stuff. So some of these guys, one guy I had to interview about 2 times. We actually interviewed him 3 times, one guy. And because when we talked to each other, my producer and I, we was like, he's not giving it all to us. There's more there.
I can't hear you.
I apologize.
That's all right.
Okay.
You're fine.
So, I had to, in the beginning, I had to ask the questions. But let me tell you, each and every guy, see what made this unique about this documentary, mine was different. My documentary was done differently than any other sports documentary ever done. And I'm gonna tell you why. I interviewed each individual individually. Most team documentaries, you see they interview people together. Mm-hmm. The Last Dance might have been something like mine because they interviewed Jordan and they had Jordan and Scott. None of those guys were really together, but they had them they had them reviewing stuff they were saying on computers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
These guys all spoke for an hour to an hour and a half off of 2 questions. Like, so tell me about how you got involved with the executioners. What did the executioners mean to you? And, what are you doing now? I asked them a couple questions and then they would just go. And that's how I got it all. Each guy gave me an hour to an hour and a half. Frank Taylor, the main guy, he gave me almost 2 hours interview.
Wow.
That man got a memory like an elephant. That, you know, and that's how it came together.
And it speaks to how they take care of themselves, that their memories and are preserved. You know what I mean? These men, to have their memories intact, it does speak to the fact that they took care of themselves along with the men that they were training. Yes. So that's what I got out of it. And I also got out of it, and this is what I do for my life. You know, I'm gonna shoot for the moon, but if I land amongst the stars, I'm still reaching goal. You know, if my goal is to be Oprah Winfrey like, and I become, you know, a local news anchor,
right,
I still feel that's a success there, you know, for me and my community. Did I become Oprah like? Maybe not, but I still became something for my community to be proud of. And so that's what I took from the movie, that maybe everyone didn't become Sugar Ray Leonard, but some people were able to make better choices for their lives. You know what I mean? And even if they fell to the wayside where they got in trouble with the law, who's to say it wouldn't have been even worse?
Right.
Without the influence of the boxing club.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's an important story to tell, to encourage other people in their communities to start something. Right. And you never know how people will be influenced by just that positive outlet in the community. So I really enjoyed the movie, and everyone, please check it out. It's on Tubi. That's on your Roku. They have a website, tubi.com, and you can check it out for free. I didn't even have to pay to see it. It was nice to just be able to stream it. Right. But it's worth paying for. So I hope to see it go forward too, and we're going to do our best to promote it, because it is a overall positive life story about something in the community that the Black children, you know, could go to, you know what I mean? Which is few and far between even now.
Yes.
So it was a positive story for me to watch, and it was very inspiring for me to see. So you did a great job, Dannon.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Monique picked up on something very, very important. Even when I was growing up, I saw there was a gym, you know, for young guys to go to kind of to learn confidence and to learn a skill and things like that. How important do you think that is now? Because I don't really see it like I used to see it before. Do you think that that's something that's missing? And what would you say to a community that wants to kind of pick that up again?
It's sad, and I'm gonna sound now like an old fogey. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
You know, and I don't want to, but you know, they really, it's needed so much now, more than anything, because kids don't do what we did.
Exactly.
They don't play.
Kids
don't even go out. They don't play really. They don't have, a lot of kids don't have neighborhoods where they play and they fight among each other, and then they come back and they apologize, or the parents go, "What happened?" And they go, "Okay, you guys shake it out and forget that." We don't do that no more.
Dan, and let me tell you something. I came home from work a couple of years ago. Monique is my witness. I came home from work a couple of years ago. I came home from work. I was working, and I got out my car and I went for my evening walk in my neighborhood. I lived in a nice little neighborhood in Metro Detroit.
Right.
And these two brothers were playing. They got to be like 11 and 13 or something like that. They had the ball. And I was surprised to see them outside, because I rarely ever see kids outside. They asked me to come and play with them.
Wow. See, and that's sad, but that's just how it is. Hey,
then I was like, I'm 40.
Yeah. You like, man, I ain't got time to blow a knee out. But
I just got to go for work. I got shoes older than you. They was like, man, could you come play with us? I was like, but it's little kids next door. We don't like them. We want you to come play with us.
Right. See,
what's going on with that, Danny?
Man, well, one.
What up, guys? Chef Max here. I want to thank the Morning Bro Show for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys and to have some fun on the camera and interviews. It's always amazing. So I'll keep you supporting. Thank you for all the support. I'll continue supporting you guys. See you later, Chef Max.